Hello and welcome to another episode of Elz Tells.
Ba-dum bum bum.
Elz
Elz Tells.
Tells.
Elz Tells. Elz Tells. What you telling?
What the
Yeah.
helly?
My voice broke. Allow
No,
it.
that is not good enough
My voice
for
broke.
the
Allow it.
finale episode. No, in fact, we got to go big.
Have
Ready?
you worn that hat before?
I can't
Is
remember.
this another reduce, reuse, recycle?
I don't know. Come on, we need
Girl,
to give
I
it...
need to buy you some more hats.
Yeah, okay, do. Buy me hats. I would like a Ghostbusters one. I really wanted the Sabrina Carpenter man-child one, but it sold out before I could get
Snooze
it.
you lose.
It was £35.
That's a lot for a hat.
It's kind of the going rate these days for a hat.
£35 is the going rate for a hat.
Yeah, you don't want to know how much this bucket hat cost me.
How much?
Anyway.
What are we talking about?
Anyway.
How much?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Here we go.
much was
Another
that bucket
big intro for you.
Ba-dum bum bum. Elz
Elz
Tells.
Tells.
Elz Tells. Elz Tells.
What you telling? Yeah. I feel like it needs a little gospel end.
feel like we need-
Oh, Elz Tells. Season 2 is done. Here's the finale. Let's have some fun. That was on the fly. You can have that.
Is that cultural appropriation?
No. That's just a style of music.
Have you-
It's a genre.
Okay, yeah, fair.
That would be like, oh, I can't sing the Hercules soundtrack.
I know.
Yes, I can. This week is our final episode of season 2. Oh, I hear you say, oh. Today's episode is movies that didn't deserve to flop.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like movies that haven't got a lot of love. Need a lot of love.
I hope you've come prepped with some stats.
I have. I've actually got research.
You got numbers.
She's prepared. But before that, let's have a quick recap of the season, shall we? How's it been?
I cannot remember what we did. You had Dad on.
I did. And to be honest, guys, he's a bit upset that there isn't much demand for a return. And then we did reacting to Star Wars hate comments.
That was good.
We did adaptations. I really loved that episode. I think that was a really cool one.
I don't remember that.
Adaptations. We're talking all about the Minecraft movie that you
Oh
love.
no.
Yeah, I think it's been a really good season. I've really enjoyed myself, so I hope you guys have as well. We will, of course, be bringing the podcast back, but it's probably going to be next year. Let's be real.
You're committed to season 3 already.
Yeah, I'm bringing it back.
This been signed off by Sony.
I don't care if there's not high demand. I've greenlit it myself. That's why
Return it to the 100 viewers.
I'm in my green. I'm in my green Mike Wazowski hat today, so that you know
I'm drinking from my
greenlit.
Stanley because I'm sponsored. I've gone the big time, and I'm not going to be the host next season.
Are you
I'm
not?
actually breaking solo. I'm launching my own. Nick, I'm sponsored by Stanley Tells.
Who's Stanley and why is he telling? In the background of some of these episodes, you might be able to hear Dolly purring. All of the cats are around us and they often purr just in our presence. So that's what's happened.
Can I do a quick life update in case we watch this back and be like, I want to know what's going on in my life?
Oh, okay.
Our cat is recovering
Lady.
from IBD. She's had a funny tum. and we say funny tum.
Do you know what?
All round the house for weeks.
This is...
Front door, top of the stairs. We put a litter tray at the
This is
top
what
of the
people
stairs.
tune in
I know,
for.
right? We put a litter tray top of the stairs because she went at the top of the stairs like 10 times. Yeah? We
She's
put a
a
litter
poor
tray there.
girlie.
And then she comes and does it outside our bedroom door.
No,
And not in the litter tray where she's done it 10 nights in a row
she
beforehand.
actually did things that I didn't know cats could do.
I think it's
She
spiteful.
would go into the litter tray, fart, and then come back out because she couldn't trust it. We've had trauma in
Just
this
in case
house.
you watch this back and like she's gone.
Oh,
know what I mean?
great.
I want to like come back on this and be like, God, do you remember? Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
She's creeping around the house.
Talking of crap. What makes a movie a flop? Why is that a segue? Why is that
Wow,
such a good
I've
segue?
actually just done an elite segue.
That is professional. I've done the segue. You did the setup.
Oh, I laid the seed.
Yeah, that's really good. That professional. You wouldn't get this kind of professionalism anywhere else.
But you're saying like movies that didn't deserve to flop. So we're talking about the fact that a good movie can flop.
Yes. Are we talking box office? Is that what counts as a flop? A box office flop, right? But then movies can be a flop these days without even going to the cinema.
Yeah, it's any movie
So-
where no one watches it, innit?
Well,
You've put a load of money and time into making it, a bit like this podcast.
are we a flop?
Elz Tells flopped hard.
No, I would disagree because
It's a big noise to the 100 people who listen to it.
we have a solid community and a foundation that I think is more important than 1,000 people who aren't really listening and don't really care about what you got to say.
I'd be doing Elz Tells if even me and you were the only two listeners. Two listeners.
No, it
Elz
wouldn't
and
be
Tells.
two. It would be us. It'd be our cousin Josh, and it would be my dad. That's it. 4 listeners. And 2 of them are ourselves. So you got a box office flop, but these days there are also like streaming, there's digital sales, there's merch. So there's a lot to take into account these days with a film.
Yeah, but what do you count as a flop? It's always money, isn't it? When they talk about Snow White, right, and they said the budget was, 150 or 200 million, and it didn't bring that back in.
With something like Snow White, though, it was #1 on Disney Plus, right? In terms of streaming figures.
Was it?
Oh, what are you saying? You're saying lies?
I'm saying, did Disney just put it at #1?
No, you can't put it as #1. It's
their platform. They can put it wherever they
it's
want.
It's what has the most streams that week or whatever. It's
Maybe
#1 film streamed around the world at that time.
Yeah, at that time. But I bet if you stacked up like the global streams on that, like now, it's not going to be in like the top 10 things that are streamed on Disney
Right,
Plus
it may
right
not
now.
be near K-pop Demon Hunters and whatever. It still shows and keeps people on the Disney Plus platform. That is people who have put in their money to subscribe to Disney Plus and have watched that film. And this is where I think the success thing becomes more interesting these days, because something can flop in the cinema but do really well on streaming afterwards, and it's keeping people interested in your platform. And a lot more often than not recently, I hear people say, oh, I'm just going to wait for that to come on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Which is an indicator that just because the box office isn't strong doesn't necessarily mean it's a flop, because people are still interested to watch it. They just don't want to spend that much money to watch it, or they don't want to go to the cinema at that time in the year. And I think that's also a really interesting conversation, is kind of when things release. So if you look at something like, Better Man by Robbie Williams is one that I have on this list, because I think that did not deserve to flop. Incredible film, absolutely captivating, amazing music, unique concept of him being a CGI monkey.
Yeah.
But that released on Boxing Day. Well,
And that was a wrong marketing choice.
right.
Who goes to the cinema on Boxing Day?
Well, I think a lot of people do. Maybe not necessarily in the UK, but I think a lot of people do in America and all that. But I think over here, it would have been more beneficial when it's a film about Robbie Williams, right? You would expect it, in my opinion, to come out in the summer after he's just done a big festival slot or something. Like, if he'd just done the Isle of Wight and everyone's like watching it on the platforms and whatever. Incredible at the Isle of Wight, by the way, he was headliner. He's never headlined Glastonbury, which I think is a huge mistake. But, I think if he would have done a big headline slot at a televised festival and then they release the film.
Defo.
And
Boxing Day was the
even
wrong timing.
They could have put it all into one. So at the end of his set at the Isle of Wight or whatever, they could have done a big thing that came on screen. It could have gone boom, boom, Better Man on the screen, and had an actual, a little video of the monkey dancing
I thought you
along.
said an actual chimpanzee come out. And have an actual chimpanzee called Robbie come out.
I mean, you could. It'd be great marketing. Could you imagine the headlines?
Nah.
Robbie Williams brings out chimpanzee at Isle
Peter
of
would be all
Wight.
over him, wouldn't they?
RSPCA straight on that. For that, I saw the marketing for it and I wanted to see it, but I'm busy Boxing Day. I'm busy girly. We're big Christmas people, so we're not movies at Christmas people.
But also, really,
And at Christmas, you're watching Christmas films.
how big are those films about music? Right, ignore the Taylor Swift one, the Eras Tour one.
I don't think that counts.
How big are those biographies or autobiographies about musicians? Really
Huge. Look at Bohemian Rhapsody. That was a massive film.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you there.
Yeah.
You got me there.
I guess no. In which case, then, yeah, it did have the potential to go into a big space. Then,
It deserved to. It just...
was it better than Bohemian Rhapsody?
Some of the dance sequences and the uses of music in Better Man were better than in Bohemian Rhapsody. Because if you look at I think it's Rock DJ, the big one on the street and all that, that is a feast for the eyes, for the music, everything. Love it. Now, Bohemian Rhapsody, to me, I connect with more because Freddie's whole story and journey and his Live Aid performance had a huge impact on me as a musician. But I feel
And it was
like...
performed by Rami Malek.
Yeah, and I love that man.
But in terms of his performance, it was Oscar winning.
And I love that man.
Like literally a generational performance.
But I think Better Man didn't deserve to flop. Do you agree?
No, I don't think it deserved to flop, but I didn't actually. It didn't blow me away.
Are you joking? You were like crying on the sofa.
No, I wasn't. I never cry anything.
Yes, you do.
I cry at
little
nothing.
liar.
What have I cried at?
You little liar. K-pop Demon Hunters 2 nights ago.
Different. Very different.
I thought you never cry at anything. I've just named you something within the last 48 hours. And you're like, nah, that's not me.
I reject.
I'm in my Liverpool jersey.
I reject that truth.
Others that didn't deserve to flop. Have you ever heard of The Iron Giant?
Yeah, I love the Iron
1999.
Giant.
I've never seen it myself.
Did that flop, did it?
Flopped.
I love the Iron Giant.
What you consider a flop is budget, right?
Right, yeah.
Budget and box office. £31 million is what it made, and it was a 50 million budget. Not pounds, dollars.
Is that a stinker then?
So it's at an absolute stinking the place
stinker.
out.
Yeah.
So that now has, I think we can say, a kind of cult following, you know, of
Yep.
people who really love it, who have seen it.
It's a good film.
So is it a flop then? If so many people love it and they
flopped.
but
Do
they
you know what I mean?
they go to bat for it now. You just said, yeah, I love the Iron Giant,
Yeah, but it's still
despite
flopped.
the flop.
Yeah, it flopped in the past. Now, like I say, cult following. I feel like that's what a cult following is. Because like K-pop Demon Hunters isn't a cult following, it's everyone on Netflix watching it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Whereas like cult following is a small following.
So is that
That's
a
the whole
different
point.
kind of success then?
Yeah,
So like,
it's a cult success.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
drawn a small specialist group who love that film.
yeah, okay, I like that. Because apparently the Iron Giant was down to poor marketing. That's what everyone on the line says. It's poor marketing, so people didn't go out to see it.
But I think, again, probably though, at that time, I don't think animated films were massively hitting that space.
In 1999,
Oh yeah, you probably
Are you
had
kidding
Lion
me?
King and all that stuff knocking around, haven't you, beforehand?
sometimes the things that come out of your mouth on this podcast are a little bit shameful.
Yeah, but what was coming out in 1999 then?
Well, there were so many things that had just come out, like all of the sort of golden age of like Little Mermaid and all that. All
How
happened
did they
then.
really do in cinema?
They literally call it the Renaissance of Disney because it brought it out of the ashes like a phoenix.
But like, I always wonder, like, don't get me wrong, I had all of these films on VHS. I never saw a single one in cinema. Maybe was I too old though?
No, you're too young. You're too young. Next one. And this is one where I'm like, does it deserve to flop or not? Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Never seen it.
You've never seen it?
Means it flopped.
You're like, red button. Obviously rubbish because I haven't seen it.
Not seen it, it's flopped.
I remember watching it once after I'd watched Superbad. And obviously
That is a good
it's
film. Tell me that
watching-
didn't flop.
I don't know. What's his name? Michael Cera? Michael
Yeah,
Cera?
yeah,
Is it Michael?
yeah.
Why does Michael sound weird now? Is that his name?
I think so, yeah.
I remember he did a CeraVe advert. Have you seen that?
No.
CeraVe, like the moisturising
Yeah.
like cream. And obviously he's Michael Cera. So it's like, but not Sarah.
Wow.
Why is it coming out weird? It's Sarah.
Like
it's,
Sierra.
it's CERA.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I suddenly can't say that. Any Hoobies. So I'd watched him in Superbad and I thought, ooh, I'll see what else is going on. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a bit weird. It is a bit weird.
Flopped.
It made $49 million. Guess what the budget was?
Well,
85 million.
it's a stinker.
That's a shot to the heart and you're too late. It's really bad. Did it deserve to flop? Not sure. Definitely one of those ones that has a bit of a cult following now. There are a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, it's one of my favourite
It
films.
can't be that good because I've never heard you talk about it, ever.
No, because I can't
13
really
years.
remember it because I remember thinking this isn't super bad, which like is not the point, and not every film that Michael Cera is in has to be
It's a
super
humdinger
bad.
then.
But I remember like he was in a lot of films around that time
Yeah.
that I really enjoyed, and they were kind of like cool and cutesy. But yeah, I don't know. I remember just finding it a bit too artsy.
It's humming and singing.
Like things happen on the screen that are like comic bookish and stuff. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. Don't come for me, Scott Pilgrim fans out there. Next one, Treasure Planet 2002.
Good film.
$109 million were made on an $140 million budget.
Yeah. Stinker.
But it still made millions.
Yeah, but do you know what? Yeah, but do you know what makes me? I always feel like it cost too much money to make them. 140 million.
Yeah, where's that going?
I feel like I could buy a football team for that, and they've only made Treasure
Well-
Planet with 140 million.
Bear in mind though that it's 2002, so the technology wasn't as technologian back then.
140 million.
I can't even afford a Freddo right now, and they're spending that much on a film that apparently was a flop.
Yeah, I just feel like that wouldn't. I can't believe that's costed 140 million to make Treasure Planet.
But it also still made millions. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it did. 109 million is still millions
I
of a
think
million.
ultimately it's a slow, but I think with things like that, and if you're Disney, you just got to sit there and let it slowly rack up, because obviously
Let
that's
it
still
roll.
getting views now.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Is with streaming and all that, even though they still have to like churn out new content, and Netflix has to keep putting new content on there and all that, which I do think is, you know, a different conversation about quality versus quantity, but they do also have a huge back catalogue, people like Disney. And so it is allowing films like Treasure Planet to have a resurgence, because so many people now have access to it all the time again. And they would perhaps click on it when they wouldn't have before. So instead of them having to go out and, you know, spend a tenner or whatever on a DVD to watch Treasure Planet. But it's also that interesting thing, isn't it, of they can now track what we go back to and what we go back and watch. Because like Moana was one of the ones that has been watched over and over and over again. I think it was actually the most watched thing on Disney Plus for one of the years recently.
Moana.
And it's an old film. Yeah. In terms of flop then, Moana 2 did not flop at the box office. It was an absolute smash hit at the box office. But it receives a lot of hate, and people say it's not as good.
Are you saying it's hate determines flop as well?
Well, I'm asking the question. I'm posing the question. What makes it a flop? Because, so here's my theory, okay? Just because it has a high box office number does not make it a good film. It means that people have given it a chance. It's very easy to get people to go and watch something like Moana 2 because they like Moana 1. So it's like, okay, we'll give it a go.
I agree with that, because you can have stuff that's been okay, but I hate it. Like the live action Lion Kings. Rubbish.
That was massive at the
but made
box
loads
office.
of money.
Right.
Lots of latest Marvel.
See, I'd be
Thunderbolts.
interested to see the Disney Plus streaming figures for something like live action Lion King, because live action Lion King is something that I have not watched since I've watched it in the cinema. So it is a different type of success. Whereas I will go back and I will rewatch Freaky Friday over and over again. I will rewatch, to be fair, I've rewatched Moana 2 a good few times because I really love that film.
That was good.
I don't understand the hate. I think it is a really solid story. It is hilarious. The songs are really good. I love the kind of expansion on the characters and the world. I really like Moana 2. So to me, it's not a flop in that way. But I'm, posing the question of, is a flop more than just budget and box office?
Yeah. Oh, no, but no, though, because, like, that's when you get into, like, a personal flop, isn't it? Because, like, The Lion King live action wasn't a flop because it obviously made so much money, but I just hate it.
It's the opposite of what you just said, though. So, like, the cult following thing is when it has bad box office and then becomes popular later. But I feel like you can also flip that on its head and have really good box office and then it gets hate later. I really do think that is an important part of the flopping situation. Okay, so some others. Shawshank Redemption.
I know this had a slow start.
Flop.
One of the best films of all time, though. I saw a TikTok of someone saying it was overrated.
So it didn't flop. On the line, my research, as per my research and prep for this episode, it wasn't a full flop at the box office. It was underwhelming. A 25 million budget and it made 58 million. So it still was in profit.
25 mil.
Yeah.
They made Shawshank Redemption with 25. How much did they spend on Treasure Planet?
Yeah, 140
140
mil.
I can make 5. They've hired Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And they could have hired Morgan Freeman 4 more times.
Yeah.
And they've still cheaper than Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like Treasure Planet, they've let themselves down. Like Disney have let themselves down there by spending too much money on Treasure Planet. That's what I mean. Sometimes like the flops
But then it wouldn't be as good. And then people wouldn't like it to this day.
Yeah, but they've made Shawshank Redemption
Yeah.
on like a fifth of the budget.
I get your point.
I feel like they've allowed their project to get too expensive. I feel the same with like Snow White. Like Snow White wouldn't have been, if they'd spent 100 million making Snow White and then it made like 150, no one would be looking at it saying, well, that's a flop. But they spent 200 million on it.
I loved Snow White. To me, that wasn't a flop. I thought that was fantastic. And I'll tell you why. The hate in the internet got so out of control that actually when you go and watch that film, and I think in a few years' time, people will come back and say, I actually really love that.
Yeah, but is it a £200 million film? Like, do you sit there and watching it thinking,
but the problem
is
is
200 mil of a film?
I'm not dealing in Hollywoods, am I? I'm dealing in the fact I got minus numbers in my bank.
For 200 mil, though, I'm thinking of like Robert Downey Jr.'s coming on screen.
Yeah, but Rachel Zegler was absolutely incredible. Think about the music. Incredible music. Some of the best live action sequences happen in that film. I will not be taking any slander of Snow White, one of the only live actions that I will happily rewatch over and over again. And talking of Disney Plus success, I have been watching it over and over again on Disney Plus.
I just think part of the reason maybe sometimes things flop is because the studio have let it cost too much money. So then it becomes really hard to make the money back. You spend too much.
I think that is the problem when you get into big bucks. Hollywood, though, is that it is, you're dealing in big bucks. So Shawshank Redemption, it's now in a lot of people's IMDb top 10.
100%.
Because it's so popular.
I think it's probably the second best film of all time.
But so talking of slow burns, Elemental was a slow burn. That's one that was considered a flop, and everyone was saying Pixar's lost their touch and blah blah. Wrong. As the good word spread around the nations, then people started coming out and actually going to the cinema and watching Elemental, which is, I think, why they are now giving us longer runs in cinema before it goes to digital and Disney Plus. For a little while there, they went really quickly onto streaming services. So it did make it a little bit pointless to go to the cinema, because if you're already paying for the streaming service, why would you pay an extra 20 to 30 quid for two of you to go and watch the same film on a big screen?
With the success of K-pop Demon Hunters, do you think that'll breed more films going straight to streaming platforms? No, because that was an example of something not even touched in the cinema. Apart from sing-alongs later, that went straight to streaming platforms, and that's now like the biggest thing, most watched thing on Netflix.
I'll tell you for why. Because they've also done stuff like, I think it was called Spellbound, and that was on Netflix, and that was Alan Menken. Like, some of the best minds of Disney and Pixar were involved in that movie, and it stunk out the place.
Spellbound.
It is called that, isn't it? Is it Spellbound? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. You okay?
Stunk out.
Bin fire.
Spellbound was like lifted up a...
Lifted up what?
I think I've lost
your
it.
Inhaler.
Spellbound was like lifting up a drain cover.
It's so hard.
Just getting hit in the face.
I swear, we're not usually this harsh. The smell of Reading services taking off your eyebrows.
Spellbound is just Reading services.
What's annoying is some of our literal idols were involved in that movie. I don't know what happened.
I think Alan just must have given 5 minutes to that project.
We can all have a bad day.
I wrote a dissertation on Alan Menken. I idolise him as one of the best generational songwriters.
Yep, we say this from a place of love
Spellbound.
and critique.
He must have written that like with the flu, with 5 minutes to go.
I feel harsh. I do feel harsh, but it wasn't for us.
No, because if you're that good, you've written Little Mermaid, and Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin, and Pocahontas. You can take the heat on Spellbound.
You compare Spellbound to K-pop Demon Hunters, right?
Yeah.
There you go. So no, I don't think more things will go direct to streaming. I think they are actively trying to keep the cinemas alive, and I think that is what they should do. And I think,
I just wonder if we'll see more of that.
Hear ye. I think K-pop Demon Hunters 2 will go to cinemas.
Ooh.
Hear me now. It's gonna.
Let's take a bet on that.
Confirmed it's not going to be a live action. Confirmed it will go to cinemas.
I don't think it will, because...
I'll take that bet. Shake my hand right now. £10.
£10. I think because the whole point why K-pop Demon Hunters worked is you could watch it straight away again. Because you're like, that was good, let's watch it again.
Now the hype is built. You're telling me if they put K-pop Demon Hunters 2 in the cinema, you're not going to watch. You're going to say, oh, I'll wait for Netflix.
Of course I'd watch. No, yeah, of course
You're going to pay your money and you're going to sit there and you're going to watch Hunt Tricks, Slay the House Down. Ginu's obviously coming back.
But do they go with what works? They know it works. Like, you know if you throw that up... Because, like, look, Stranger Things doesn't go into cinema, and that, like, absolutely...
Because it's a series.
Yeah, but, like... I don't know. I think for them, they should stick with what works.
Have a look. Star Wars has been on streaming services for years. Where's it going? Back to the cinema. Mandalorian and Grogu.
I hope that does well. I hope they do well.
The cinematic experience cannot be beaten, and I genuinely think they would be silly to not put something like K-pop Demon Hunters in the cinema when it has undoubtedly been a huge success.
I don't want the Star Wars ones to flop.
No, I hope not.
But the problem is with Star Wars is that that's expensive to make as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, is that going to be like, oh, it's 400 million? It's
The
made
only
300
thing that I
million,
would say
it's
with
flopped.
Star Wars is it does have the longevity. You know people are going to rewatch that on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
100%. The fan base is so built and there. However, obviously, if they hate it, that's a whole other conversation. But it will have longevity, so it will probably be a hit in the cinema because people are interested. I think Mandalorian and Grogu is one of the strongest things that they could have started with in the cinema. I think it's a great idea. Tomorrowland in 2015. Do you remember that film?
Was that the George Clooney?
George Clooney and the girlie who was in the Nasty Gal thing as well. I can't remember what they called that, like Business Girl or something on Netflix. People who know will know what I'm on about. But she's a great actress as well. So Tomorrowland, obviously, all about Tomorrowland. Meant to be sort of the next Pirates of the Caribbean vibe. So based on a ride or an area in the Disney parks. It was...
But it wasn't Pirates of the Caribbean. That's the thing. Like, it was okay.
So it made $209 million on a 190 budget. So not
Just an op.
a loss.
Not a flop.
Just a... what?
Just an op.
Just a fluff. But such a good movie. I loved that movie. I was so pleasantly surprised. I bought that on DVD, I'm pretty sure, back in 2015.
It was okay, but it didn't, like, blow the gasket, did it? Like, it didn't...
I think... I know, it wowed me. I was happy.
Yeah, but you say wowed, but you've never put it on again in 13 years. You've never gone...
Can you even watch
Tomorrowland.
it? Is it
I'm watching
even
again.
on Disney Plus?
I bet it is, yeah.
I find that sometimes with Disney Plus, you are pushed the same films over and over again. They keep pushing me to try and watch the live action Lilo and Stitch because I've not watched it. I went to see it in the cinema, we will not watch it again. And that's my idea
Did
of
that
a flop. No, it was the biggest sensation in the universe.
So this is where we get criminal
But that,
behaviour.
why was that? The marketing was huge.
Yeah, and this is right. This is what... Did they account the marketing in, like, the cost to make that film?
In the budget, I think so.
Do they?
I think so, but I'm not sure. The marketing budget for Lilo and Stitch live action compared to Elio, right? Brings me on to Elio.
Yeah, Tomorrowland's on there.
Oh, I'm going to watch that. Elio. Flop. Read us the numbers for Elio.
Elio underperformed, 154 million worldwide, an estimated budget of 150 to 200 million.
Okay.
A new record for Pixar's lowest opening weekend.
Terrible.
21 million in the US.
That movie is fantastic.
Doesn't deserve to be that bad.
It's fantastic.
Like Soul was Reading Services.
Yeah, that was direct to Disney Plus though, because of the lockdown.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Elio is one of those situations where I was hoping that it would be a late bloomer because it does not deserve to flop, and I think it's incredible. I was extremely disappointed with the marketing for that because it just got completely swallowed up by live action Lilo and Stitch around the same kind of summer. And even in terms of merch, etc., it's so hard to find Elio merch. I still haven't found a Gordon plush because they were in Disneyland Paris for about 2 weeks and then they've just disappeared. I have no idea why we never got them on Disney Store UK. I'm still hopeful that they will come eventually. Sometimes we do get things very late. It genuinely hurts my soul that so many people have worked so hard on that fantastic
That's the sad
movie.
bit. If that was your introduction and your first film working at Disney or Pixar, and you've worked on Elio, and you probably feel crap right now.
But I've never heard a bad review of it.
No, it's a good film.
And this is what I mean by, is it a flop though? You got people like me recommending to go and watch it, and I will like die on the hill.
Yeah,
that
but I
Elio was
recommended
great.
Iron Giant, but like that's still flopped.
Yeah, but that's what I mean though. It's like, what would you prefer? A longevity kind of cult following, or would you prefer a box office smash hit?
Everyone, I mean, if you're a studio, you obviously prefer the box office smash hit, don't you? And both. You prefer both. That's when you know you've got a great film.
Obviously you
I
want
know, but
both.
that's great film, isn't it?
But if you were making a film, would you rather it get good financial success straight away, or would you rather for the next 30 years of your life, everyone's coming up to you and saying, wow, I love that film. I watch it every night with my son or something.
I think that totally depends on what you want out of it. Like, in the sense of, like, if you're, like, wanting... Like, so say if I've just made that film and I want to now go and be a director again on another big film, you're going to want it to hit, aren't you? Not, like, oh, in 30 years' time they'll appreciate me. Well, my career's over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm an old man now, and I never made it because my film I made flopped. So,
Or you get riches from royalties. That's why you got to have a good
Yeah.
contract.
But, like, I feel like if you're a filmmaker, you're going to want it to hit, aren't you?
But do we consider everyone watching it as the box office a hit? What if everyone goes to the box office and watches it and then gives it bad review? Not a hit then, is it?
What I don't like is when things become, like, a commercial success and then they get, like, Lion King 2. We did not need live-action Lion King 2. It was
Oh,
shocking.
Mufasa.
Mufasa. Some of the songs in it.
The
What was the song that Oh,
Scar sings.
Mads Mikkelsen sings, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not Scar, is it? It's the other guy.
It's the other lion, the Mads Mikkelsen. Oh, and it was... that was Reading Services.
Yeah, it was. The thing is, we came out of it saying, why did they put songs in that? And I didn't want to feel like that about Lion King film, but the actual story was good and enjoyable. It was the songs. Lin-Manuel Miranda, again.
He's been off the boil lately.
Need I bring it up?
Scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt. Live action Little Mermaid.
I think it just happens to everyone. Like, in the sense of, like, everyone has to peak somewhere, right?
Sometimes, okay, studios might put too much trust into a songwriter because of their past success. That's what I'm saying. Because the T is, Scuttlebutt, in my opinion, is one of the worst songs.
I feel like because music...
But then Moana, some of the best songs.
Well, yeah.
Same songwriter. How? For example, the song from that, I Always Wanted a Brother, right? We first heard that and we were like, what is going on? But now it's actually low-key catchy.
Only that bit, though.
Yeah.
Music is so subjective that, like, no one tells, like, the big musicians when they're back. Like, we're thinking, like, Taylor Swift's latest album, right? And some of the demos.
Yeah.
And it was, like...
The TikToks I'm seeing.
Paul Simon wristband.
Yeah,
Do you know
not
what I mean? Like,
good.
and I think, like, musicians get so big that, like, people, like, do people stop telling them they're bad? Like
Right.
pro footballers, right? When they go off the boil, like, everyone's like...
The commentators know.
You're old, you're bad.
Yeah.
Time to stop. Do you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
retire, they become a commentator, and then you slow down and they play in, like, an old granddad league. Do you know what I mean? Like, Messi's now playing over in America. Everyone knows. And I feel like that's totally accepted. Like, with sports person, you know, Roger Federer, like the best tennis player of all time, like, he's old. He can't compete at that level. Retire. Stop. But, like, no one's saying Taylor Swift, like, you ain't writing good anymore. Time to stop. Pass the baton to Sabrina Carpenter. I truly believe we are in the golden age of girl pop. 100%. Which is an amazing and hard thing in the sense of, if you're now a girly trying to make it, how can you get into that space? Because it is full of Olivia Dean, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, you know, people who are making good music. Chaperone. We're talking like icons, queens. Even if you're like Gwen Stefani, right?
Yeah.
Who had a pretty good album.
Slay.
And Pixie Lot's releasing new stuff still and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, love
How
her
do
new
you
song.
compete when the girl space is peaking? And we're talking generational
Yeah, but I also think
peaking.
sometimes you don't have to compete. Like, you
Well,
just
no,
do
but-
you. It depends what you want from music as well. It's the same with films and the same with music. Depends what you want from it. It strikes me that someone like Pixie Lott isn't trying to be, you know, crazy.
You say isn't trying to be, but would love to be. Like, all of us would love to be, wouldn't we?
No, I wouldn't want to be Taylor Swift's level of
You wouldn't wanna
absolutely
be
insane. I'd want to be a billionaire.
60
Don't get me
million
wrong.
monthly
Don't
listeners.
get me wrong.
Where you
No,
can basically
because-
release eyelashes, fart in a jar, and everyone's loving it.
Well, no, because
Taylor has evidence that you can release anything and people will lap it up.
no, I wouldn't want that. Because I just want to actually write good music that people actually connect to and enjoy. I'm not bothered about doing a massive tour, arenas and all that. That's not what I want.
The thing is,
for my
Taylor
life.
was that. She was writing good music that people connected with. She's just done a Ronaldo. She's too old, too over the hill.
That is so controversial. That is almost controversial corner.
But not old in a like you're old and, you know, women should be young and no, but it's in like you're not as good. It happens to Billy Joel. It happened to Bob. It happened to
No, Billy Joel's latest song is amazing. Billy Joel stopped releasing music because he knew he couldn't write things that were better. But he did. He wrote that really good song about the light.
Is it on par with Piano Man?
The other T is, and I think this is actually really important. Billy Joel said this in an interview and it's really stuck with me. He heard the advice from someone that was, everything you do doesn't have to be Beethoven. You don't have to write some massive, crazy, all-inspiring thing every time. Sometimes things just have a function,
That
right?
I understand. But then what's hard then is just like, because if you're writing music for yourself, absolutely, write whatever you want and do. But the problem is they are in a professional space. Like, almost, you can't go say to Mo Salah, playing for Liverpool, play
Right,
for
but-
yourself. Every game doesn't have to be the big time.
No, but
It's
the
like,
sports
but
thing
dude, it has
doesn't
to be.
count because they are being paid millions and millions of pounds.
Is Billy
No.
Joel and Taylor Swift not being paid millions?
No, but
They've got to be top game.
so say films, right? You have different functions for different films. Elio is not the same function as Shawshank Redemption, okay? Because Shawshank Redemption, if you ask me, is the big thing that's trying to make you really think about life and make a difference and blah, blah, blah. Elio is just a cute story with funny stuff. It has emotional parts and depth to it, but it's not a massive journey like Shawshank Redemption. They have different functions.
Was K-pop Demon Hunters meant to be the big thing it is? I don't think it was. Hence why Sony
No,
dipped
I
it off
think
for
it was
20
meant
mil.
to be a solid animated movie. I don't think they expected as many people to connect to it the way that they have, or for the music to be as successful as it has, even though it's absolutely incredible. I think that was a labour of love that they did for themselves, and I think that is where the magic comes from. I think when people make something that is genuine to themselves, not for the sake of marketing or for the sake of making this massive movie, I think that is where the magic comes. That is why Elemental hits, because the guy who wrote that, and his photo, I think so.
Yeah.
His photos come up at the end of the movie in the credits.
Lovely.
That came from him. And I think that is where there are bops and there are flops. And that is a bop because it was a personal thing that was made into art and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And this is why AI will never be fully taking over and fully relevant, because what makes art impressive is when it comes from the human. That's the tea. Deep.
We got into Taylor Swift.
You got into Taylor Swift. I was quiet.
Just because I'm just amazed that the quality that was once there has gone.
Anyway, back on track. Another one, Raya and the Last Dragon. 100 million budget. It made 130 million.
They spent less.
And that came out on Disney Plus.
But you're telling me they spent less on Raya and the Last Dragon than they did on Treasure Planet. I feel like Treasure Planet, Disney deserved that loss.
Because
they spent too much money on it.
They were hand drawing it though back then, weren't they?
Well, how many
Think
people
of
have they
all
paid
those
to make 140 million's worth of? How many people? They must have
Yeah.
had an army of
Think
people
about how many
drawing.
drawings that takes. I wonder how many drawings it actually adds up to for how many dollars a drawing it is. You know what I mean? You got to think about these things.
No wonder they stopped the 2D animation. Too spenny.
But Raya and the Last Dragon, I think, is incredible. I wish it had music. I do. I understand why they didn't, but I think if it had music, it adds longevity.
It could have been bigger. And what did I say that like a few episodes ago? I was like, music is actually what unites it. Like, music is what gives you the big moments. When I go, nah, Savannah.
Yeah.
And that's also why I think K-pop Demon Hunters has gone big time. Musicals. Music.
Because the music's great.
Music, I think, is the most human element, almost one of the most core human elements of our existence.
But is that just because we are musicians, so we value music?
No,
so
that's
for
what
example,
sets us literally different from animals.
But for example, okay, well, the birds sing.
Yes.
Come on. Think about that a little bit.
Maybe they're like we are. They're just like...
Yeah, they're just on a different vibration.
That like blackbird out
Whales
there.
sing.
Whales sing?
They like make noises to each other, don't they?
That's them just talking to each other.
The tea is, I think the reason why K-pop Demon Hunters works so well is because you want to revisit the music over and over again. It takes you back to the place, you want to put the movie back on, so it sparks it. And I think that is the key to Disney's success, and I think they've managed to do that so well in K-pop Demon Hunters. But they have also taken all of the best parts of sort of like Asian anime and things like that, and they've managed to mold it into one so that the animation isn't too different, so it's a bit more palatable for people who aren't used to anime. And I think it's also unique and different for people who aren't used to anime. People who like anime notice all of these sort of things that you would
Tropes.
usually see in an anime. Even things like the popcorn coming out of the eyes and the way that they're eating really fast, stuff like that. Like you see stuff like that in Naruto all the time. So I think they have managed to blend the different cultures and styles really well. It's new, it's different, while also being palatable and giving us amazing soundtrack.
I would have loved to have seen what Raya and the Last Dragon would have been in an alternate universe had it had music. You tweeted the director and she responded, and we know the reason why there wasn't.
Because she fights rather than sings every time that there's conflict, which I understand. But
I think that's what's caused Raya then to fall into that box.
Yeah, not longevity.
It's not, because music is the big moments. God, we literally wrote a dissertation on like Alan Menken, like music. That's what sets apart those films.
So next up then, we have Emperor's New Groove.
Amazing.
Classic example, I think, of a cult following that has just excelled itself. So it had $169 million on a $100 million budget. So it made $69 million.
So that's not a flop then.
Well,
Maybe underperformed, and I think that's where we're different now. We're getting into like underperforming films. Because like Shawshank wasn't a flop. It made money. It wiped its face.
in the
Do you know what I mean?
studio's eyes.
Yeah, this thing,
Flopping.
It underperformed. But at least it wiped its own face. Like you're talking about some of them films there where they didn't wipe their face.
Yeah, true. But some of these, I think, deserved a bigger vibe. Like Emperor's New Groove, hugely underrated. I'm so glad that people my age who loved it when we were young have grown up and we've realised it's still a really good film now. It's still amazing. And dun, dun, dun. But interesting, because that's one that doesn't necessarily have as many musical highlights. It does, but I'm personally not putting on,
No, but
over and over again.
I think the humour carries it.
Exactly.
And full of
the
memeable
memes.
moments. But that's because it's grown up with the right generation who use memes.
100%.
Well, I mean, like memes to death is what millennials do.
Yeah, just a couple of others that were considered flops, not bops. Fight Club.
I think that's an overrated film. I'll be dead honest. It's a good film. It's not an amazing film.
Okay. Donnie Darko.
I really like Donnie Darko. That's got a cult
seen
following. Really good film. Jake Gyllenhaal, really good film. Well, I think one of the best representations of like mental health kind of like psychosis kind of ever. Really good.
I didn't realise that was what it was about.
Really good.
Hocus Pocus.
Oh, that's a shame.
So interesting.
Good film.
And that is something. The merch, Nick, on I say. Every Halloween now, Asda have just done a range. We've got obviously Disney Store bringing out Hocus Pocus stuff all the time. I've seen it in Tesco. It now is getting more finances years and years later.
You can tell it must have been all right because they did number 2. They came back to it years
But that's
later.
because the following that it has now,
Yeah, with the cult
now that we're
following
all
has become
old,
enough. Yeah.
now that we're all old, childless millennials, when we have the money to spend on it, they are now, using it and bringing it back, which obviously love, like revive that. I will buy that stuff. Yeah, I find that really interesting because I think it's a new way of sort of like preying on old things. And I guarantee the streaming, the moolah behind that and from that is the reason why they did number 2, which went straight to streaming. Last one, Rocky Horror Picture Show. You have to watch this film. It's so good, but apparently it underperformed. However, Tim Curry's performance in that is one of the most iconic things that people know. It gets referenced all the time. I'm not surprised it perhaps underperformed at the time because it is so out there for the time. These days, I don't think it's as out there, but it still kind of is. Like, there's literally a song called Touch Me. And excellent. So good. That is one that I don't think deserved to flop either. You can let us know down below any movies that you think didn't deserve to flop.
Is it time for?
It's time for Controversial Corner.
Last one of series 2.
Oh yeah, it's the finale. Sad. Even though, to be honest, I don't think you can get much more controversial than you saying Taylor Swift is over the hill.
That's fact. That's not a controversial statement.
What controversial have you got this week?
McDonald's is the best takeaway because you can have a mid McDonald's and it's still good.
That's what I think. I think you can go to McDonald's. So if we're looking at all the takeaways in the world, of course we had to finish the finale on food. We love food. You look at all the takeaways in the world. McDonald's is one you can have in the morning,
of the big chains.
in the evening. It can be cold. It's still good.
Yeah.
Not as good. Don't get me wrong. You can have a bad McDonald's and you can have an amazing McDonald's.
Yeah, but I feel like a bad McDonald's you can still eat. Whereas I feel like a bad Indian or a bad Chinese is life-changing. Like,
there was a time I didn't eat crispy chili beef for 3 years. Lady. Okay.
Like, you can quite literally have a traumatic experience from like a bad Indian or bad Chinese.
I have had a traumatic
Like a bad
experience
fish
from
and chips.
bad Chinese.
Do you remember, like, you threw up like fish, like
Chunks
batter,
of cod.
chunks of cod. I've never been sick off at McDonald's.
Very true. It's a safe one. But if you ask me my favourite food, I'm always saying McDonald's because it is my favourite food.
It's just
I really need
staple,
a McDonald's.
isn't it?
I need a McDonald's. I literally am like so tempted after this to just go and get a McDonald's.
No, we
Someone
can't.
says McDonald's, I can smell it. I can.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. You've got to be in the mood for different takeaways, right? Like sometimes you'll be like, I just
Yeah, but
want
you
a
could
Chinese.
be in the mood for any McDonald's anytime. couldn't you?
That's how I feel. Because like Nando's is a very specific type of, and very expensive. Even though, can we talk about the
Nando's
fact
isn't takeaway, that's a restaurant.
we barely ever sit in there, we take it away. McDonald's.
Better than KFC, better than Burger King, better than any of the weird like Tim Hortons, all the bits and like,
Here's
weirdness
the
like
tea
that.
with like KFC though. Our local one always has rats. Done it. I want it more. And the last one we had was really good and it was really hot. But there are rats everywhere.
Yeah, but and KFC is like, which is obviously the whole point. It's just chicken. Like I feel like,
Is it?
but I feel like McDonald's, I can go get nuggets and like a Big Mac. I get beef chicken ratio.
We always go
I switch it up
for a beef and a chicken. So like, tell the people your usual order from McDonald's.
Cheeky cheese, which I've now inflicted on my little brother.
cheese.
Like my little brother now gets a cheeky cheeseburger on the side.
Yeah.
He can get away with that because he's like a young, stick thin, like early 20s.
Yeah.
There'll come a time, mid 20s, metabolism will slow down.
Yeah.
You start driving, and you balloon like I did.
You learnt the hard
I
way.
was 10 stone when I met you.
My bad. With McDonald's, if you're going a beef burger, you've got to get chicken nuggets on the side. If you're going a chicken burger, you got to get a cheeky cheese on the side. Beef. However,
Beef, pork,
chicken. Where has the chicken legend gone? That was my go-to chicken burger. It's a crime.
McCrispy
I
is
miss
not
it.
the same.
Not the same. I haven't ordered one. I haven't.
I miss
stopped.
the floury, like, the bun.
A sub bun.
Yeah.
The chicken was crispy and tender and beautiful.
Yeah, that was the taste of my teens. I always got a chicken legend.
To be fair, the only bit that you can get from McDonald's that is potentially dodgy is the chicken. You think about it.
We've had some ropey chicken
The
before.
crispy chicken is like, sometimes like chewy, and it's been spat back out.
Like a rubber.
It's not
in
good.
school.
Yeah,
you bite the
chewing
rubber.
on a literal rubber. Yeah, not for me. Whereas the beef is always sturdy. A quarter pounder, sturdy choice.
Yeah, I've never had bad beef from McDonald's.
Big Mac, beautiful. However, sometimes the Big Macs come cold. So before, this is my story, traumatized. I don't know if it's clear. I'm not a vegan. I am not a vegetarian. We went out, got the McDonald's. This is before you had Uber Eats. Drove it home, opened my burger, took my first bite of Big Mac. No patties. They had given me bun, lettuce, sauce, not a single patty in there.
It was a Big Mac as well, so it was bun, lettuce, bun,
Yeah.
lettuce, bun.
Lettuce bun. Terrifying.
I just want to address as well, pre-COVID, there was no delivery McDonald's.
No.
Do you remember us fantasising about one day? Like, if you imagine if you could get McDonald's delivered. Now that's just like such a normal thing.
Yeah.
Like that's like colour TV. I feel like I take delivery McDonald's like for granted.
Deliver Donald's. I remember the first time KFC opened after lockdown. It was the first one that opened back up in our thing.
It queued.
There were queues out of the car park, all the way around the drive-through and out onto the street.
It was a 90-minute queue. And
we
everyone was
sat
willing
there.
to wait. Yeah.
It was for my birthday.
Yeah,
it
everyone was
opened
happy.
just before my birthday. I was buzzing to taste that KFC gravy again after lockdown.
I felt bad for the people working there. Like, could you imagine,
yeah.
come back to work and you see the queue?
You've been on furlough, your first day
90
back.
minutes all day. It's just people queuing like a mile to get there because you're the only place.
And yet, they didn't run out of chicken then. They ran out of chicken like a year or so later. Yeah. You remember that scandal, running out of chicken? The best thing in the world, though, is the 99p advert. Tell me that someone else, podcast peeps, remember the advert.
Sing it.
Ready? If I'd have known the KFC mini fillet burger was only 99p, I'd have asked her to get me one. Sandra, can I have a bite? And then she goes, whoa. No.
You got the acting skills for Hollyoaks.
Comedy gold. Honestly, one of the best adverts ever in my whole life, and me and my sister just sing that all the time now.
That's my hot take.
Is that the finale? Hold on. Is that really the finale? Are we ending on me reenacting a KFC mini fillet burger advert? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. What can you do? Hopefully out of this we'll get some sponsors for somewhere. A little something. Even though I'm not probably sure we won't get a KFC.
Who's sponsoring?
Not KFC after we just said they got rats.
Might be your dad buying a McDonald's.
We hope you have enjoyed this season. We have absolutely loved making season 2, haven't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've loved making season 2 of Elz Tells. We hope you have too. You can let us know down below what episodes would you like to see in season 3. Dun dun dun.
It's coming after Christmas.
Yeah, we probably won't be back until next year because we've done 2 seasons this year. Isn't that crazy? We only started this
Big
this
turnaround
year.
studio here.
Yeah, I'm churning it out.
Pumping it out.
Yeah, I've got all my employees on the go. Me, myself, and I.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. We will see you next season. You going to say bye or not?
Bye-bye. If I'd have known
The KFC mini filling burgers.